live from the YouTubes. It is Sunday, August 7th, our first live stream in 2 weeks, but we're back on a Sunday, the normal time, the normal place. And I want to say thank you guys so much for joining me today. What's up, everybody? Let me know, please, if the microphone's working, if everything's working properly, because we were having some issues with the technology, but I think we're up and running. I think we're ready to do a little bit of a live stream for the next 45 minutes to an hour. So what I need from you guys, I need your all's thoughts and comments on everything going on in the world of movies. If you want to talk about something specific, or if you want to talk about the box office this weekend, along with the wide releases, there's some really cool stuff. There's also some madness to talk about with DC, man. If you want to talk about DC or Marvel's future, be sure to get in those comments and let me know what your thoughts are on all of that. I'm going to answer questions today. I'm going to try my best to get to as many things as I possibly can. If you guys are here right now, if you're watching and you enjoy this and you want to come back next weekend, be sure to drop a like. It helps me. It helps the algorithm. And of course, if you drop a super chat, I'm going to drop everything and make sure I get to that super chat. I appreciate your all support and help on the channel. But beyond the super chats, I'm going to try my best to get to all of the questions in the normal live stream. And you all are there right now. Let's see what's going on in the chat. I'm going to scroll all the way up. Let's get that Sunday morning live stream consistency up. I know, man. I had to. What did I post last week? Oh, it was the best and worst of July. And anytime I have to post a best and worst on Sunday, I won't do a live stream. Wanted to do one on Monday, but it just got a little bit too hectic. But we're back. We're going to try to keep this consistency up every single weekend. Let's see. We've got some great questions already. Carter in the chat. A lot of people saying hi, hello, talking D23, talking Marvel, full trailers, Ant-Man, all that stuff. But we're going to get into the first few questions. Chris Smith says, hi, and let's see, who else do we have here? I want to make sure I get to everybody. Flash Flick Reviews, we have Pats, we have Archange 3L7. So thank you guys so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Big Jacker, that's great. With a question, can you do a ranking of the IMDb top 20? Oh, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. I've never thought about doing something along those lines. If you follow me over on the, we're going to try to be like the kids here. Over on the TikToks, I do rankings of the IMDb movies every now and then, so that's a fun thing to do, but a ranking of the top 20 is very interesting. All right, so we have a Toronto resident. Are you attending TIFF this year by any chance? Michael with the great question. By the way, guys, if you're here to talk about box office or DC, we're going to talk about those things specifically here in a little bit. And of course, if you have questions along the way, we're going to answer those. But right now, I'm just getting into a couple of the questions to start out with. Am I going to TIFF this year? I didn't even apply. And here's why. My wife and I have been planning a crazy vacation for about 6 months now. We're going to Hawaii. We're going to Hawaii at the end of August, the beginning of September, and then immediately when we come back, I'm going to week 1 of the NFL. I'm going to the Pittsburgh Steelers versus Cincinnati Bengals game. So we had both of those things planned, and then I discovered what week the Toronto Film Festival was, and I'm like, okay, well, I figured it would be that week. It's fine. I do plan on going to New York, but I hope to get back to Toronto next year, right? I attended digitally last year. It was great. Wanted to attend this year. Knew I couldn't. We had some, I wanted to focus on the family this year as opposed to focus on the film festival. But I am going to try to make it out to New York. So if you guys are in New York and you want to see me, we're going to plan all those things. So, but thanks for the question, Michael. I hope to get back out to Toronto next year. Hugo saying, hey, Austin, am I later on time? You are right on time, Billy. By the way, guys, let me know if the internet's holding up okay, because again, we were having some issues here at the beginning. How are you? I'm wonderful. I'm having a great day, man. Woke up on the right side of the bed this morning, trying to get some things done, trying to plan the week out. Chris says, I'm from Toronto, hope to watch online. Well, Chris, you and many others are some of the people I hope to get out and meet in 2023, and hopefully I'll be back. Chris says, hi, Austin. We have, someone says, I think the Batman 2 is going to be bad. What's your reasoning behind that? I hope it's good. If it's anything like the first, I think it's going to be great. The first super chat today is from AJ, as always, with the Friday night trio. Oh, the Bourne trilogy. Bourne Ultimatum is easily the best. Got better with Paul Greengrass came in. I agree. I think Greengrass came into that franchise, took it over, and took it in the right direction. Listen, it's a great trilogy that's talked about, but I don't think is talked about enough when you put in the conversation of a John Wick or a Mission Impossible. And I do that, right? I always say John Wick and Mission Impossible. I should talk about the Bourne trilogy more because even though it's got a lot of that shaky cam, it does it the best. It does it better than any action movie, maybe ever, when you talk about that shaky cam style of action. And not all of those style of movies are bad. And Bourne, I think, is a great example. Let's see. Chris Smith says, might watch Prey today. What you think, Austin? Chris, I think that's a great call. Prey was a really good, intense movie. It's nice to see some people. So I saw some people that, as I shake the whole table here, I saw some people that were very hesitant about Prey and worried about it. I also saw some people that just refused to watch it straight out. And those people, get out of here. But I get the hesitancy. I understand. But for those who gave it a chance, and even if you didn't like it, I appreciate you giving it a chance. I think it's a great movie. Chris, I hope you watch it. I hope you enjoy it. And even with some of my nitpicks, I thoroughly enjoyed that experience. A huge surprise for me. Why Hawaii? If you guys are just joining, I talked about my wife and I going to Hawaii instead of the Toronto Film Festival. It's just always been a dream to go with her. I went when I was super young with my parents, with my entire family. It was amazing. It's by far the best vacation I've ever had. I wanted to take my wife there. It's partially a celebration of everything, right? She graduated this year with her master's. I'm doing some cool stuff. So we said, we're going to go. We're going to have a big hoorah and celebrate all of her accomplishments. That's what I tell her. I'm like, listen, I've done stuff. You've done more stuff. She's done better stuff. So we're going, and hopefully we have a great time. She has the whole thing planned out, man, down to the second. So hopefully it's going to be great. Flash Flick says, just watch 13 Lives. It's now my top 3 of 2022, followed by Top Gun and The Batman. What are some of your favorite rescue mission films? Mine would be Apollo 13 or Argo. Man, those are 2 great examples. Argo with that Oscar love. Apollo 13 with some Oscar love. Both great movies. I mean, that's probably, you think Apollo 13, that's probably the one that comes to mind first. I really enjoyed 13 Lives. I thought it was good. It went on a little bit too long for me, and there were some things about it. I didn't get enough character development, even though that's not the goal of the movie, so I don't want to strike it too hard for that. But I think it's a really good movie. It's in my top 30-ish of 2022. And I said this in my review. I don't see how someone watches that and says that's bad, because it's just, there's so much to it that is amazing. The way that they handle it, the way that they handle that story. It's a little jarring at points, and it goes on a bit too long, but I think 13 Lives is 100% worth a watch, especially on streaming. My God. But make sure you watch it with a good sound system, because that sound design, so good, y'all. So good. Is Disney too dependent on the MCU? I don't know if they're fully dependent on the MCU. They have a lot of properties, but maybe, I mean, there's a lot of MCU content coming, and they're going to become more dependent on it. That's for sure. David says, are you excited for She-Hulk? I don't know why I'm not very excited for She-Hulk. I don't know. Maybe the show comes out and changes my tune. I've not loved what I've seen so far. I love the fact that we're getting Daredevil. That's great. But everything else, I don't know, man. I don't know. We have DC or Marvel, whose future is bright. DC is struggling to get their act together, so I have to go Marvel, even though Marvel's cranking it out like crazy right now. And DC has the Batman 2, which I'm thoroughly excited about. It has Joker 2, which I don't know about, but hey, let's see what happens, right? But in terms of overall, they don't have a plan right now. They say they have a plan. We don't know that plan. Until we know that plan, I'm going Marvel. The chaos this week kind of tells me that they got to get this stuff together. Let's see. We have, I blame you. I blame you for my Letterboxd addiction. Listen, I'm going to move this. It's like echoing. I absolutely love Letterboxd. I am thoroughly addicted to Letterboxd. It's genuinely one of my favorite, if not my favorite thing on my phone. So if you guys are over on Letterboxd and you don't follow me, be sure to check me out over there. I try to review everything I see. I get really behind because I love focusing on YouTube, but I absolutely love Letterboxd. I watched Prey after your review. It was mind-blowing. Well, awesome. Awesome. I'm so glad you watched it, gave it a chance. Again, even if you guys didn't like it, I appreciate everybody for giving movies that maybe you're not super excited for a chance. And I do that sometimes, and they're terrible. I watched Marmaduke this week. If you guys follow me on Letterboxd, you saw that I watched Marmaduke, and it was absolute smoking hot garbage. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen, but I gave it a chance. Do I regret it? Yes, but I gave it a chance. Let's see. Why do you think there's less and less original movies getting made or getting talked about? A24 only seems to be experimenting with this stuff. I think there are a lot of original movies getting made. I just think the marketing for a lot of those films, they're not good. They're not great. So a lot of these original films, they come and go and people don't even know that they came out. I can think of numerous original movies this year that came out and did not get any notoriety or any. I mean, you talk about original movies, and this one was a bit more hyped. It's The Northman, Robert Eggers, and it bombed at the box office. Like, no one went out and saw it, and you get numerous examples every single year. So maybe less than we used to get in terms of original films, but I think they're there. It's just hard to tell when they come or where they are, or, it's very, very difficult. Let's see. We have I feel like your 3.5 out of 5 rating for Elvis was a bit too harsh. No, I really enjoyed Elvis. I think it's a good movie. I think the experience has allowed it to sit in my brain a bit more. So maybe it's one of those that I watch again and I raise just a little bit, because again, that experience was awesome. I just did not like the fact that they focused on Tom Hanks at the beginning. I understand that's the book. I get it, but it did not work in the movie. And I thought Tom Hanks was overdoing it. I did not love his performance, but I am on that Austin Butler train for an Oscar right now. I think he should get a nomination. I think he will get a nomination. And right now, he's my pick to win it. So you talk about one of the best performances of the year. That should 100% be in the conversation. I think we're talking 2022, 2023 films here. Roman, Oppenheimer, Dune 2, Killers of the Flower Moon. Boy, guys, that's just going to be a great year. Roman, it's going to be a great year, my friend. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. If you could only have one, what would you pick? Hugh Jackman as Wolverine or Robert Downey? Oh, man. So, personally, oh gosh, that's really hard. There's a part of me that's a bit biased towards Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. He was always one of my favorites growing up. But without RDJ as Iron Man, I don't know if we would have the MCU. So I'd have to go RDJ as Iron Man. But that's really tough. They're both perfect. They're both absolutely perfect. Next super chat of the day. Fred, I think you're the next one. Make sure, guys, if I miss a super chat, please let me know. What's your favorite movie score? For me, it's got to be First Man. Oh, God. Yeah, listen. The score for First Man. If I'm not mistaken, did the score for First Man not get a nomination? Am I wrong there? I think maybe that was the one that missed the nomination that year and everybody was super pissed about. I love that score. I think it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I am going to say, a modern one. Let's go a modern one. You look at a movie like Arrival with Johan Johansson. Just spectacularly done. It's one of those movies that evokes certain emotions through cinematography, but also through the music. And I think that's probably the biggest reason why it's so memorable. So in terms of modern music, Johan Johansson's score for Arrival is amazing. But I could point at multiple Zimmer scores. Anything Hans Zimmer does is incredible. I really love the score for movies like I can't even think. Ludwig Göransson. Ludwig Göransson's amazing. Giacchino's amazing. So any of those scores, modern scores, are incredible. And then you go back, you're obviously looking at a lot of John Williams' work. 2001: A Space Odyssey. The score is phenomenal. There's just a lot to love and a lot to look at. So I don't know if I have a favorite in mind. I'm sure if I thought about it, I could choose. 3 best A24 movies. Krista, off the top of my head, I have a list. Immediately, I go to Hereditary. I go to Uncut Gems. And right now, Everything Everywhere All at Once is in that conversation. So, but I do have a list on this channel. Thoughts on Lady Gaga and Joker 2? I'm interested. I'm intrigued. Look, she's a great actor. I'm very curious to see what this movie is. The fact that she's in it and it's a musical, it works with the movie being a musical and Lady Gaga being so incredible in that category. I think that's going to work. So let's see what happens. I'm interested. I think she's going to play it incredibly, as she always does. Do you think Blue Beetle is getting shelved also? Talking about the DC chaos that's going around. I don't think Blue Beetle's getting shelved. As far as I know, they're saying, and they were saying all along, that was going to be a theatrical movie. And as far as I know, everything theatrical is safe, even The Flash. So I think that's going to be okay. I hope it's going to be okay. The behind-the-scenes photos look incredible. The suit looks amazing. So I'm pulling for Blue Beetle. I want to see it. Hello, Austin, fan of your content. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for being here today and hanging out. Next super chat, Ryan. Just wondering if you've seen Green Lantern Beware My Power. That's the animated movie that dropped last week, right? Last week. Yeah, I didn't get to see it. I wanted to see it. I wanted to put it in that category. I love DC's animated films. I think their animated properties, honestly, if you maybe take out the Nolan trilogy and even take out the Batman, have outshined their live action movies. Under the Red Hood, you go all the way back, Mask of the Phantasm. There are so many incredible properties and projects. The Dark Knight Returns 1 and 2 are two of my favorite comic book movies ever. So I think DC animated has been incredible. I don't even know what the word of mouth has been about Green Lantern, so I'm interested, Ryan. I definitely want to check it out. We have, let's see here. What is your least favorite movie of the year so far? Well, it's funny you say that I like movies. I'm coming out with a list. Literally, I've already filmed it today. I'm coming out with a list today. So I'm going to try my best to there's two movies fighting for that top spot. Try my best to make a decision. And right now, those two movies, and tune in later today because you're going to have that list, is Marmaduke and 365 Days. Those are the two films. They both suck. Which one sucks more? Find out when I make a decision. And you'll see what that decision is. Do you think the amount of Marvel production is affecting their quality, and why another Avengers movie? It was supposed to be another new group. Well, that other new group was always going to be an Avengers movie. It was always going to be a new team, if you will. In terms of the production affecting their quality, I think a lot of it is the pandemic delayed a lot of this, and it all just kind of dropped at once. You know what I mean? Like, everything was supposed to be spread out over 2020 and 2021. It just wasn't. So I think that's a big problem with it. Hopefully it doesn't really start affecting. And I mean, when I say really start affecting their quality, I mean to where they're putting out like Morbius, right? When you start putting out Morbius after Morbius, then we have a problem. To me, the movies haven't been that bad, even though the quality has been affected a little bit. Like, I haven't loved Phase 4 as much as I love the other phases. But there's a lot of content coming out, so we'll just have to see how it works. Roman says piss off. Roman, I don't know who you're referring to. I assume someone in the chat, hopefully not me. I don't know what's happening. G-Kobe P, the reason you're not excited for She-Hulk is because you're sexist. Listen, I'm sure people think that and think that way. Hopefully they don't actually think that. Hopefully people don't actually think that. But if they do, well, like Roman says, they can piss off. What's your rating of the Prey movie 1 through 5, Sergio? You have to go check out my review for that. It is 1 through 10. It's not 1 through 5 for me, but you have to go check that out. But I can talk about the little dislikes and likes. Listen, for Prey, I wanted a bit more practical effects. I think there were some suspension of disbelief things and it's a movie about a predator coming from space. I get that. So there is a certain level, but you have to go whatever the film establishes is how your brain has to operate when you're talking suspension of disbelief. It establishes a few things that it may have not fully delivered on, but at the end of the day, didn't matter. Great time. Incredible atmosphere. Amazing atmosphere. The best part of the movie. It's grounded. It's real. It's brutal. The action's fantastic. I loved, even though that blood was a little CGI every now and then, love the blood and gore, and it delivered on those crazy predator kills. And I just think it's a well-composed movie, man. Dan Trachtenberg, the guy knows what he's doing. We need more Dan Trachtenberg. He's literally one of the better, smaller level directors, even though he's come into 2 big franchises, Cloverfield, Predator, and knocked it out of the park in both. Absolutely love it. All right, so we have Austin. Don't miss the TV show The Bear. It's intense, chaotic, raw, and a mix of Ooh, you got me there. Whiplash and uncut gems. That's pretty cool. Yeah, my wife is watching The Bear, and she loves it. And she's like, you have to watch this. So it's the first time in a long time she's watched something that I haven't watched yet, and it's eating me alive. So I absolutely have to watch The Bear. And I keep getting those recommendations, guys. I promise I'll do it. I promise. Amsterdam or Knives Out 2, which has the better ensemble cast. I'm going to give the edge to Amsterdam because you have Christian Bale, you have Margot Robbie, you have that trio at the head there. And then you go even further, and Michael Shannon and Mike Myers. Look, the Knives Out 2 cast is amazing. Absolutely amazing. But it all comes down to if the movie's good or not. It all comes down to the movie's good. So we will just have to see. Let's see. We have a great question here. It's crazy to me that Nope will do worse than Peele's previous movies at the box office. I wonder why. I just think it's a combination of being a very different, and I know the other 2 movies were different, but Us was very clear horror. You had the horror crowd. Get Out was, horror with a message. Nope is more of like a sci-fi alien invasion. I think people see the trailer and they're like, well, I've seen similar things before. There's not a lot of movies to compare to Nope because it's so different. But I think that's a big part of it, just not being firmly in that horror genre. And I think word of mouth was a little up and down for that movie, to be honest with you. Hey, Austin, rank these 3. Rocket Man, Bohemian Rhapsody, and Elvis. Well, my clear, far and away number 1 is Rocket Man. Rocket Man was an amazing film. It got better with age. I went back to it multiple times. Taron should have got a nomination. I don't know why he got a nomination or didn't get a nomination. Bohemian Rhapsody, listen, I enjoyed Bohemian Rhapsody. I can't lie to you. I know a lot of people have issues with it. That's fine. I enjoyed it. Elvis, I also enjoyed. It becomes difficult when you talk about 2 and 3. Right now, as I have them scored, I would say Bohemian Rhapsody 2 and Elvis 3. But Bohemian Rhapsody, there were some things that the more I thought about it, the more I had issues with. So it would be close. I'd have to rewatch Rhapsody and Elvis. But I think they're both very, very similar with both their positives and their negatives. Very different positives and negatives. But in terms of the amount of positives and negatives, I would say Rhapsody and Elvis are very, very close to each other. But Rocket Man, far and away, the best movie out of those 3. I know this is a bit late, but why do you think Lightyear struggled at the box office? Listen, for me, it is a combination of the controversy surrounding Lightyear, which I don't know why there was even controversy, and then the recasting of Tim Allen with Chris Evans. People didn't like that. And then just people thinking that they're milking the Toy Story franchise, which, in a way, most sequels are milking franchises. That's just the way it goes. So it was a lot of those things. I knew people that didn't even know it came out in theaters. They're like, oh, it's going to be on Disney Plus, right? And I had multiple people tell me this, and I said, no, it's in theaters. And they were like, oh, why isn't it on Disney Plus? So I don't know if they've been trained to think that these animated films are coming out on Disney Plus. I don't know, because I keep up with the space so much. But yeah, it was a big combination of things. Talking about First Man a while ago. Any nominations? That's ridiculous. Oh, that is ridiculous. My goodness. What is your favorite Funko Pop on your shelf right now? I think it has to be my I Am Iron Man with the gauntlet pop. I love that pop. And then, of course, my signed Giancarlo Esposito right there. Moff Gideon Funko Pop. Nicest guy in the world. Maybe he plays Professor X, and I get to say, I met Professor X, and he complimented my wife. That would be so cool. Let's see. Did you like Shang-Chi? I didn't like it. I loved it. I absolutely loved Shang-Chi. I thought it was great. First Man, yeah, we already talked about that.
Thoughts on HBO Max being a streaming service for men and Discovery Plus being a streaming service for women? Being a streaming service for men. DJ, I don't understand that question, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the dark on that one. I do not understand that. Let's see. Did you watch Men? I did watch Men. I enjoyed it. A little weird, but I enjoyed it. But it's a little weird. So kind of that kind of thing. But I think it's a pretty good movie. Let's see here. Thoughts on ranking your top 10 musicals? Fred, that's a good idea. Maybe I will do a YouTube short when we get our next big musical, and I don't know when that will be or what the musical will be. Who knows? Maybe it's Joker 2. Maybe I'll do a YouTube short and do like my top 5 musicals. I think that would be super fun. You've got things like La La Land in the conversation. Last year, let's see, Tick, Tick, Boom. We had In the Heights. We had West Side Story. West Side Story would absolutely be, the new one, would absolutely be pretty high. That's such an experience. Let's see, what else do we have here? Man, there are some great musicals. There are also some musicals that I think are super overrated. And that would be an interesting video as well. Musicals that everybody seems to like and I didn't love. So, one certain one starring Ewan McGregor that I am just not a big fan of. Can you guess what that is? Moulin Rouge. I don't love Moulin Rouge. I know a lot of people do. I don't love it. Let's see. Somebody said, nah, you trolling. I don't know what that's referring to. I get so behind on these chats and then I catch up and I'm like mid-conversation. I don't know what's happening. Michael. Hey, Austin. What's up, Michael? How you doing? Are you... The film drunk said, are you excited for 365 days like I am? Oh, my God. Listen, hey, the film drunk, man, it's good. We got to do something together one of these days. Let's go. The film drunk. Listen, I am so pumped. It's genuinely one of the most exciting films that I could remember in recent history. It's one of those franchises that puts quality above quantity, as you can tell, because they're putting out 2 sequels in 1 year. When I look at 365 days and I look past the porn, you have to look past the porn. You look past the porn and you see quality filmmaking, amazing characters, and a phenomenal script. And that's what I hope to get out of part 3. Genuinely, some of the best films of our generation. So, The Film Drunk, thank you so much. I love that this is a conversation. How dare you choose to watch Marmaduke over the Pops, Burke? Damon, I'm sorry. When you phrase it like that, I am a bad human being. When you phrase it like that, I look at myself, I'm like, bad Austin. I am so sorry. That's Damon. It's so bad. Yeah, you're right. I did. That's my fault. And I hate that I did it, but I did it. Jax Pool says, Dexter McSqueezy. We're bringing it back. Jax, that's my DJ name. If you guys missed the live streams, I think this was in June, we came up with a DJ name. My DJ name is Dexter McSqueezy. Dexter McSqueezy is my name. Ask me again, and I'll probably tell you something different. No, it's Dexter McSqueezy. Absolutely love it. I want a t-shirt. We have to get a t-shirt with Dexter McSqueezy. Have you seen Project X? I watched it the other day, and I got to say I loved it. Just so much fun. Great vibes, great soundtrack, hilarious characters. If you have, what do you think? You know what, Roman? I haven't seen that movie. And a lot of people are going to give me flack over that. There are a handful of movies on my watch list that I've got to get to. And I've heard good things. Somebody on my TikTok, this was like a month and a half ago, told me that Project X was their favorite movie of all time. I kid you not. And it's actually a person that I respect. Not a film critic, but a person I respect. So, with a lot more followers than I have on there. I got to watch that movie, Roman. I really do. Like, that gets me excited. Great vibes, great soundtrack, hilarious characters. I have to watch the film. It's been on my watch list for a while. What are your thoughts on the TV series Yellowstone? Great series. Love that series. It's phenomenal. I don't know why I didn't get any Emmy nominations. Or any major Emmy nominations. Baffling. Absolutely baffling. Marley, let's go. Hey, Austin, what's your opinion on the new Better Call Saul season? and how excited are you for the finale? So I'm a couple episodes behind right now. I will reveal my thoughts when the finale hits. I'm going to do a season review, but as great as it gets. As great as it gets. It's phenomenal. I've held off on... This is the show for me that I just enjoy watching and enjoy talking about with my friends, and I don't have to like do notes and all that stuff. But I do plan on doing a full season review when we get the end, which is going to break my heart. Marmaduke, the best movie 2022, no cap. I love it. I absolutely love it. Which is better, IMDb or Letterboxd? So I think both have their perks. I think for me, you know, IMDb, the standard, more general audience, which is a very, very... It's an audience that is needed when it comes to film opinions, right? You don't just want all critics doing reviews for movies. That's not... And I'm a critic. I'm on Rotten Tomatoes. I do all the stuffs, but you don't just want all critics. You want the audience's opinion. How does it make the general audience member feel? IMDb is wonderful for that. Until you get into the spamming of 1 stars and 10 stars. That to me is what almost takes IMDb out of the conversation sometimes. You look at Prey, right? Before people actually saw Prey, it was at like a 6.2 on IMDb because it was all 1 stars. But it hadn't come out yet, so nobody watched it. They just went and spammed 1 star. And that's happened countless times over the years. And it happens with so many movies. You can usually tell when it happens because you've got all these normal ratings and your 2s and your 3s and people who genuinely didn't like it. And then 1 is like way up here. And I'm like, I don't trust those people. I don't trust them. Maybe there are some that actually think it's 1 star, but they get bogged down by people who just go and spam it. And honestly, same thing with 10 stars. Maybe people genuinely think it's a 10-star film, but they just go spam 10 stars. And I hate that. It's the worst. And anybody who does that is the worst. So I look at Letterboxd and I don't see that for now. Right? For now, it's probably coming. But I think Letterboxd is a great place where people are usually pretty honest with their opinion. And it definitely leans more into the film, you know, group territory, which is fine. And that's kind of the group that I'm in. It's not as general of an opinion because, you know, you got movies that the audience didn't like in Uncut Gems and 4.1 on Letterboxd, something like that. So I prefer Letterboxd vastly, but I think both are important at the end of the day. Are you going to watch the Santa Claus on Disney Plus, the series? Yes, I am, Chris. I plan on it. I think it's going to be really interesting, and I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's see. Are you ashamed that your 365 days videos are the most viewed on your channel? I think that may have changed. Let's take a look here. I think that may have changed because that used to be the case. And if it's still the case, I'm going to be sad. But when I started doing the YouTube shorts, oh no, it's still... Wait, let's see. 640. Let's sort the YouTube shorts. All right, so now I finally have a video that passed 365 days. It's the worst MCU movies ranked. Thank God for YouTube shorts. But oh gosh. But yes, number 2 and 3. Yeah, it's still 365 days ending explained, 365 days review. That's my 2 and 3. I am ashamed of that. Absolutely ashamed of that. But, you know, they helped out. So I guess that's what I can say at the end of the day. Let's see. Would love to have you review my first feature film on Amazon. Carter, what? You have a feature film on Amazon? It's incredible. Let me know what it is. That's really cool. G. Colby P says, thank you. I can't stand Moulin Rouge. I'm sorry. Hey, you're with me, G. Colby P. It's not that I can't stand it. I just don't like it. It just didn't work for me. And I know everybody loves it. I have those movies. I'm working on a list right now on my notepads of movies that everybody seems to love. And I just, for some reason, cannot get into. And I'll give you some examples. You ready? Okay. We have... Oh, man, these are going. Moulin Rouge, and I've talked about this one before. The Mist is one that I think everybody seemed to love. Inherent Vice. I didn't like Inherent Vice. Everybody seems to love the stop-motion animated movie Box Trolls. I don't like Box Trolls. Everybody seemed to love Hail Caesar. I didn't like Hell Caesar. This one's going to ruffle some. Yeah, well, you know what? We'll save this one. The Post. Don't like The Post. So there's some movies that everybody seems to enjoy, and I don't like them. Some of them I think are just bad. So that's going to be a fun list. It's going to be a fun list that I expect to get a lot of hate for, but that's all right. That's all right. Oh, yeah. See, Chris says, those are fighting. I think my wife has got something in the dryer because it is slamming against the wall right now. Those are fighting words, Austin. Chris, I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry. It hurts me. It hurts me. Let's see. It was from the investor meeting from Warner Brothers Discovery and 3C Films. Here we go. Oh, we're talking the men versus women thing. DJ, I didn't see that. I'm not aware of that. Apologies if I was very confused there, but yeah, I just I'm not aware of what exactly went down there. Jonas says, with DC, I feel bad for the cast crew, Batgirl. Yeah, all the people involved, absolutely. If only it wasn't set post-Flash. Weird, so many people are baffled Flash is still coming out since Zaslav still needs a proper DC reset. To me, DC had a plan with Snyder, but messed it up since BVS with Ayer's Suicide Squad, especially Justice League. I agree with that. At least Patty Jenkins, James Wan, and Ayer played ball with that Snyderverse. That's true, controversial as it was. Zaslav seems he needs to be taking some needed changes between canceling streaming quality films and bringing back Batfleck to keep cohesion, yada, yada, yada. Just hope he finds a Feige more than Kathleen Kennedy. Yeah, listen, I am curious to see who that Feige person is going to be because they keep talking about it and they have to find one, and I don't know if they're going to. DC is struggling right now. They're struggling to get it together. In terms of The Flash, I'm not shocked it's coming out. I just think something has to be done about Ezra Miller. And it's not going to happen, right? At this point, I think they're too far along. It has to come out. But Ezra Miller it's hard to root for the movie when I can't root for Ezra Miller. I get it. Separate the art from the artist. I'm going to have to try my best. But I'm struggling right now. I am absolutely struggling. So we'll see what happens with The Flash. I can't root for Ezra. Austin, according to you, who is the last bankable star? For me, it's Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is 100% a bankable star right now. Absolutely. It's one of those things. And, you know, it keeps getting better, too, with the Mission Impossible movies and Top Gun Maverick and even a movie like Oblivion and Live, Die, Repeat, not calling it Edge of Tomorrow. It's one of those things that you just don't see that anymore. I think The Rock is kind of a bankable star. His movies always tend to do fairly well, and I know a lot of people have issues with him in the very standard roles. I think Ryan Reynolds is a pretty bankable star, to be honest with you. From Deadpool to some of his other movies performing extremely well. The Adam Project did very well on Netflix. He's had some movies do very well in theaters. So, yeah, there are a couple of bankable stars now. Elijah says, are you excited for Oppenheimer? Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. My blood is not ready. My brain is not ready. Okay. So I'm very, very excited about that. I like movies. Hey, Austin, the higher-ups are pleased with your review of Prey. So much that we've decided to send you a bonus check. Yes, I love movies. Got to get that weekly Disney check because according to some people, I get the weekly Disney check, and those people are oblivious, and they don't know what they're talking about. But you know what? We're going to run with the joke. So, yes, the higher-ups are very pleased with my review of Prey. Man, it was so crazy. Everybody's like, y'all getting paid. Then other critics see it, and they loved it. And then fans are seeing it, and they're loving it. So are the fans getting paid by Disney? Because if that's the case, I mean, they probably have enough money to pay everybody off, but man, they're just paying off everybody. Kids. I mean, everybody. Sending checks in the mail like the government check. My goodness. So the theory of critics getting paid off for Prey, I think was shot down fairly quickly once it released. So stupid. God, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Are you watching Reservation Dogs? No, I'm not, but I've heard really good things. Really good things. Keenan says, Nope was very disappointing. I was so hyped for it, but it didn't live up to it. That's fair. That's very fair. I've heard some valid criticisms for Nope. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The more I thought about it, and then I did that big video, and I'm like, yes, I really, really enjoyed it. But I understand. I understand completely. Man, you look like Chris Evans. That's kind of, at first it was Top Gun. And then I just kept growing the mustache. And now I'm like, I want to be Lloyd from The Gray Man. And I am. Like movie says, it's the stash. I love that. I'm having fun with the stash, man. This is fun. I was at the theater the other day and at our press screening, and the security guard that was there for, who were they there for? What was the movie I saw? I can't even remember the movie. Oh, it's for Vengeance. So whatever studio that was, the security guard was like, "Hey, nice mustache." And my wife goes, "Thank you." And I'm like, "Jeez, jeez." She's so stupid. I love her. Dude, I loved Prey. I can see a Predator film where it's set in Vikings time. It focuses on a singular family, kind of like Quiet Place. That's cool. I would love to see that. I would absolutely love to see that. Let's see here. We got another super chat. And guys, let me know. Make sure you're letting me know when all those super chats are coming, because I'm trying to slowly catch up to them. With poor reception for the Eternals, Miss Marvel, and now the casting of Shay Colley and Ironheart, are people just not ready for a diverse MCU? It's interesting, Shay. I hope people are willing to give things like that a shot. For me, the Eternals complaints are valid. I understand why Eternals wasn't beloved. I get it. And I don't think that was the diversity as much. I think that was just the quality of the film. Look, I enjoyed Eternals. It was pretty good, but I didn't love it. I was disappointed. So I think that's one. Now, Miss Marvel, I didn't love Miss Marvel, but I didn't love Miss Marvel because it took what those first 2 episodes did, and it kind of forgot about them for like 3 or 4 episodes, and then it came back, right? And I thought the finale was a lot of fun. But that middle portion struggled for me. So there are some very valid criticisms for some of these projects, but you look at the complaints for the future and some of the diverse casting, that for me is a little worrisome. It's like, come on now. I love the Ironheart casting. I love what they're doing with some of these future projects. So we should not be afraid of diversity. We just need to have quality with the diversity. That for me is what I'm excited for about the future of the MCU. So I think some of the complaints for these films have been valid, but you're also going to get those people that are just like, I don't like the girl that plays Miss Marvel. I'm like, how could you not love her? She's wonderful. For me, it was more the script for Miss Marvel. That was more my issue with Miss Marvel. But I enjoyed, I had fun with the series for sure. Great question, Shay. Thanks for the question. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. Couldn't catch up to your channel for a long time due to exams. Well, good luck on. Hopefully the exams are over with, but I hope you did very well. Congrats on your growth and development. Hope you reach 150K soon. Thank you so much. That was very nice. I appreciate that. Do you ever plan to make your own movie? No plan in the cards now. I have an idea for a movie, but I'm just going to save that until I get a little bit older and maybe make a few more friends in the industry. But we'll look about 10 years down the road when I'm approaching that 35 mark. 30. Well, I guess 10 years would be 37. But when I'm approaching that mark, we'll start reflecting then and see if I can start maybe moving into a different spot in Hollywood. But I will always have film criticism. I will always love film criticism because this is my passion. It's what I love doing. Hey, Austin, saw Bullet Train. I really liked it. And BTH is Lemon. And yeah. Aaron Taylor Johnson is Orange. Best part of the movie as my phone ring or my watch rings. I really enjoy Bullet Train, guys. I get the criticisms. I don't get the Rotten Tomatoes score. I don't see how that many people just flat out didn't like the movie. I was baffled. I was genuinely baffled. It's one of those movies that you look at, that series that Rotten Tomatoes does. It's what Rotten Tomatoes got wrong. I think they're wrong on Bullet Train. I think they're wrong. Not everyone's going to love it. That's understandable. I think they're wrong on Bullet Train. I thought it was a really enjoyable movie, super fun, and I would watch it again tomorrow. I really would. Giancarlo Esposito, and I'm on Rotten Tomatoes, by the way, so that's it's partially my fault, but I gave it a good score. I did my due diligence, dadgummit. Giancarlo Esposito is in talks to play Marvel play Professor X. So he's not technically in talks. Now, he has talked to Marvel, and he said, I want to play Professor X. Not technically in talks, but I love it. I love it. I want to see Esposito take on a different role. I've always said Mr. Freeze, and he acknowledged that people have been saying Mr. Freeze. He accidentally said Dr. Freeze, but he meant to say Mr. Freeze. So he's seen the fan castings because he said Magneto, Mr. Freeze. Like, he knows what people want from him. I want Professor X now. Now that I can think about him playing a hero, I love it. I want to see it. Let's see what happens. Do you think RRR has a chance of breaking into Best Picture? Ooh, that's tough. The category is so stacked this year. I don't know if it has a shot at Best Picture, but I have to see International Feature. I have to see it. I don't know if it's going to win, but I got to see a nomination for RRR. That movie has broken so many boundaries, like, you know, being in the top 10 on Letterboxd for weeks after weeks after week in the U.S., in the top 10 that long. That's cool, man. You don't often get a movie like that. It was great. I want to see it. International Feature, 100%. I need to eat. See you later. Well, good luck. Eat something delicious. Steak or pasta. Oh, I love pasta. I could go for some pasta right now, y'all. Give me a film, any film that I should watch tonight. Oh, man. Let's see. Any film that I should watch tonight. I'm trying to go different. I feel like I always give the same examples, the same movie. You know, I was thinking the other night, I scrolled past, I almost watched Gone Baby Gone. Casey Affleck, incredible film, very much a thriller, beautiful direction. Gone Baby Gone, I think, is a movie you should watch tonight. So that's definitely a good one. If you're in the mood for a comedy, though, another movie I was just thinking about, Palm Springs. All the way back from 2020, one of my favorite movies of that year. Comedy, Palm Springs, anything else, Gone Baby Gone, two movies that I really, really enjoyed. Somebody said I missed a super chat here. Let me scroll up, guys. Let me scroll up. Okay, Shay, it was the Eternal Ones. So sorry, I am behind. I am getting to the super chat, guys. I promise. I'm so behind on the chat. I'm trying to catch up. But thank you for letting me know. Roman says, have you watched Smiling Friends? I freaking love Smiling Friends. I am the frog. He says me. Oh, I gotta run. And he just, it's just, I love Smiling Friends, man. The shrimp. This is so good, man. Y'all know, if you've seen Smiling Friends, you know. My Uber in Los Angeles convinced me to watch Smiling Friends. My Uber in Los Angeles. He was a gamer. And he's like, oh, you got a YouTube channel. And he followed me and all this stuff. And he's like, dude, you got to watch Smiling Friends. You would love it. And I'm like, really? Really? It's great. It's so great. It's Rick and Morty on steroids, man. Rick and Morty on steroids. I'm hooked on The Sandman. The Sandman's great. Absolutely great. If anything in diversity in casting, an iconic drag artist, Queen and Ironheart is the most positive and biggest casting choice I've seen in ages. So I haven't actually seen all of the casting choices for Ironheart, but that's cool. Let's see. Who's the character here? I'm not sure who the character is, but listen, there are some great things coming in the MCU, and I'm excited. Listen, Ironheart is one of those series, when I see a trailer, or really when I see her in Black Panther, I think I'm going to get more excited for the series. It's according on how they handle the whole Iron Man thing. Like, how does this impact this character? They go on via comics, these things, and we'll see. We'll just have to see. Saw Bullet Train yesterday, and I thought the film was way better than I was expecting it. Love the cameo. Ooh, don't want to talk about the cameos. I don't want to talk about the cameos. Almost got me, Colin. Guys, if you saw that, I am so sorry. I didn't know that was going to be said. Let's try not to talk specifically about cameos in our super chats, or in our chats. That's my bad, guys. I did not see that. So I need to read them before I click on them. But 8.5 out of 10 for me. Love the movie. Absolutely love the movie. Austin, I need to get this off my chest. You look like Robert Roode? If you don't know who that is, Google him. Okay, I will Google him. I don't know who that is. Maybe I'll take it, though. I'll take it. Best DC castings beside the Dark Knight trilogy or Joker. For me, it is Paul Dano as the Riddler. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal. Honestly, I think Momoa is a great Aquaman. A really good Aquaman, like, fits the role to a T. Henry Cavill as Superman. Shannon was a great Zod. I think there have been some really good casting choices in DC as a whole. Jesse Eisenberg being the worst. I still do not like him as Joker, but, it happens. Watch Bullet Train today, and, well, it was better than I was expecting to be. All right, I'll take it. I will definitely take that. What film would you say you rewatch the most? I'm just going to say the Toy Story trilogy. I watched the Toy Story movies like countless times growing, an uncountable number of times. So those movies mean the absolute world to me. The Dark Knight, probably 20-something times. The Winter Soldier, I've seen countless times. The first Avengers, a lot, maybe not on the level of some of the others. I'm trying to think of like different movies. I watched Scooby-Doo movies a lot growing up. I love the Scooby-Doo movies. Emperor's New Groove. There we go. I've probably watched Emperor's New Groove like 30 times. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I ever prefer Giancarlo as Magneto. See, that's the beautiful thing about somebody that amazing is he can be a villain. He can be a hero. He's just that good. He is that freaking good. Alex says, how are you? I just watched Bullet Train yesterday in Dolby Atmos. Very cool, Alex. I would love to see that in Dolby Atmos. It was fantastic. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. It's nice to see other people responding. Let's see. Oh, here we go. We have an actually in the comments. Actually, the correct title is Dr. Freeze and not Mr. Freeze. He is a doctor after all, so Giancarlo Esposito was correct. He's called Mr. Freeze. Listen, he is a doctor. You could call him Dr. Freeze, but his official villainous title is Mr. Freeze. So, yeah, sure, Dr. Freeze is technically correct, but actually is Mr. Freeze. Let's see. I love the actually. Did you hear about the soap opera TV show Days of Our Lives? They just announced they have 14,000 episodes. First episode was in 1965. Oh, my God. Funny story. When I was young, when I was very, very young, I'm talking like 4 or 5 years old, I would go to the mall, my local mall in Virginia. I was born in Virginia. I grew up in Virginia before I moved to Kentucky. And Mom said there was this lady at Dillard's. There was a bunch of ladies at Dillard's that I became friends with because my mom would go shopping so many times. And I knew all the ladies that worked at Dillard's. And I would have full conversations about the Days of Our Lives television show with them because my mom loved Days of Our Lives, so I watched Days of Our Lives. And I remember two names, Bo and Hope. Bo and Hope. Those are the two names that I remember having full conversations with the ladies in Dillard's. Weird childhood, very weird. But I watched Days of Our Lives as a kid, probably for like 4 years, okay? And then I got like to 10 years old, and I said, I don't really like this. But... Man, I was a weird kid. Mom told me, she's like, you talk to people and you just didn't stop. And she has videos of me when I was young, and it's weird how much I talked and what I talked about. Here's what I talk about. Movies and comic books. And I'd have full conversations about movies and comic books and television shows and soap operas. So weird kid, but it's okay. I embraced it. I accepted it. Here's a funny thing. John Cena's Peacemaker. Good. Versus Seek. Very good. Love that. When are you coming up with your Oscar predictions? Funny thing you say that. I can show you my notes right now. I've got my full Best Picture predictions ready to go for a video. The goal is this week. Maybe even tomorrow. If I can crank it out by tomorrow, that'd be amazing. But the goal is this week for my Oscar predictions. We're doing another Best Picture. I'm going to have probably 15 movies, but a top 10 for you guys. Way too early, I understand that. But we're getting closer. So the closer we get, the more we're going to do. And I think I'm going to utilize the shorts format, the YouTube shorts format, to do some random best actor predictions, best actress predictions, and give you guys 5 choices every couple of weeks. I think that would be a lot of fun. So appreciate you guys for tuning into all of those things. Austin. I know, Austin, you didn't enjoy Super Pets a lot, but I watched it yesterday and I really enjoyed it. Found it cute, funny. My grade would be a 72%, Felipe. Thank you so much for your score, for a very nice review, a very competent review. Cute and funny. Listen, it's absolutely cute, absolutely funny. Didn't love what they did with the story. Don't love the appeal to adults and, kids at the same time. It didn't work for me, but I'm glad it worked for you. I think that's good. Jared Leto, best actor in Morbius. What do you think? Film Drunk, listen, I love it. We just talked about Oscar predictions. It's coming. All right. Matt Smith, Jared Leto. Who else was in that movie? Dear God. I don't know. I don't remember that movie. Was it Tyrese? Was he in the movie? Listen, the movie is amazing. So we're talking nominations across the board. All right. I can relate to you being addicted to the Toy Story franchise. It's my entire childhood. And the one film that made me fall in love with the medium of animation. That's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's one of those things that you grow up with loving, and then you watch it and you reflect as you're older and you're like, wow, these are actually amazing movies. Amazing movies. So really, really cool. Do you think the Batgirl movie might be leaked in the future online? Probably. It's somehow, some way we will see scenes. At least we'll see scenes. If you want an animated series live action adaptation, which would that be? This isn't a series, it's a movie, but Treasure Planet live action movie, I think would be great. Give me a Treasure Planet. I think that would be so freaking cool. It's a great Disney movie. It's a slept-on Disney movie. It's one of those that I go back to more often than some of the classic films. So very, very, very interesting thinking about those mid-2000s movies, if they would ever redo those in live action. I think that would be more accepted than some of the other ones that they're doing, to be honest with you. Let's see. Who is your favorite Stranger Things character? That is also a little quick vid I'm working on, but I'm going to spoil it right here. It's got to be Steve. I love me some Steve. Amazing character. Top to bottom. The fact that you can get us to hate someone that much and then love someone that much by season 4 and really by season 2, I started to love Steve. So I really do enjoy that character. By the way, guys, and somebody just mentioned it in the comments, if you're here, all right, we try to get 100 likes on these videos. So my goal right now is to hit that 100 like mark before we're done. It helps the video, it helps the algorithm, helps all those things. You guys know, I say it all the time. Know that I appreciate it more than anything, but also know that it really does help the video and help the channel. So if you're watching, you want to drop a like, that's awesome. And same thing with my normal videos, man. You guys have been awesome in terms of dropping the likes and really leaving comments, man. Starting the discussions in the comments. That's the biggest thing you can do, the best way to help this channel. Don't ever feel like you have to do super chats or anything like that. Just the conversations and the discussion is enough for me. That's enough support, because I know in terms of financially, it's hard to do things like that. Look, I appreciate the super chats. It means a lot. They help the channel. But to leave the likes and comments, man, just know they mean just as much. So thank you. That is much appreciated. Let's keep going here, guys. We got some great questions. Usually end around an hour. We're going to probably go 10 more minutes just to make sure I can get to all these questions and then talk about box office for just a second. At the end of the day, little bit of box office. Opinion on Kill Bill. Why is this film like a parody movie? I think Kill Bill is a beautiful look at, I don't want to say a parody of other styles, but it's taking those other styles and it's playing them all up in a very Tarantino way, but it's accomplishing so many goals at once. The Kill Bill movies, they are talked about a lot, but I don't think they're talked about enough in terms of combining all those different styles and satire and comedy and beautiful action and the set pieces and the visuals and the color grading and the color overall in those movies, man. Some of the best scenes. And I think even from an audio standpoint, man, the score and everything. Kill Bill's 1 and 2, amazing movies. And they're one of those, they're two of those that I love revisiting anytime I get the chance. Hello, Austin. I rewatched Thor: Love and Thunder. Don't get the hate. I understand the criticisms, but I love the movie. It's honestly my favorite Thor movie. Very cool. I like that. Not my favorite Thor movie, but I enjoyed it. You know, I had some issues with it, but I enjoyed it. Thoughts on Viggo Mortensen's performance in 13 Lives? I think Mortensen and Farrell, nailed the British accents. Listen, they're amazing in that movie. I had some issues with their character development, but in terms of the performances, spec-freaking-tacular. They're so good. Forgot Marmaduke and Morbius reign supreme. Yeah, they do. There's no denying that. We can try to deny it all the day long, but Morbius and Marmaduke are cinematic classics. And that's just the way it is. Can you hear my stomach growling? I'm hungry. King Steve, baby. Yeah, love me some Steve. Love me some Steve. Morbius 2, it's time to morb. Morbius 3, still morbin. Morbius 4. Hey, Austin, dude, have you ever watched silent films? So do you have a favorite? Honestly, Chaplin. Across the board. I freaking love Chaplin, man. You look at, and I took a lot of film courses in college. And there was one film course where we literally spent 3 months watching Chaplin films. And I always heard, I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't really watch a lot of Chaplin movies until college. I didn't. But when I started, kind of diving into really his entire filmography, I mean, we spent 3 months on his movies and had to write essays for most of the films. That's when my world was opened up, and I'm like, oh. And so that's also the semester where I really got, I knew Hitchcock, but I didn't know Hitchcock, right? So my world started to open up to all of those films, and it was cool. And it kind of made me rethink the way that I thought about movies. Because if you guys know me, back in 2008, I watched No Country for Old Men that had come out the year prior, and then I watched The Dark Knight, and I said, these two movies, this is the reason why I love film. Those two movies. But then I get into college, and I get introduced to all these new, old, but new movies that I fell in love with, and 12 Angry Men is still the best, I think, one of the best movies ever made. I think it might be the best movie ever made. Not my favorite, but come on. It's abso-freaking-lutely spectacular. If possible, please try to watch more Indian movies and review them. Love from India will always support you. By the way, should I stream or skip Sandman? Yeah. There are a couple coming out in the next couple of months, my friend, that I have my eye on. Absolutely. And I'm going to try my best to get to those fairly quickly. Honestly, it all comes down. My local theater hasn't been showing a lot of movies from India lately for some reason. I don't know why. So hopefully when we get some of the bigger, more blockbuster feeling films, we get those. But yeah, in terms of the Sandman, thanks for the super chat, by the way. We're trying. I was trying to get people on board before it came out, because I'm like, if they can take this source material, which seems really cool on its surface, I don't know all that much about it, and translate it, great. It's not what you think it's going to be. It feels more like an anthology series. We're exploring different time periods, and every episode's different, a couple of ongoing stories. If you can wrap your brain around that, I think you'll enjoy it. Didn't love the first episode, but past that, I thought the series was really enjoyable, and I think it's super solid. Very well made show. Very well made show. The aesthetic is amazing. Finished Prey today, and I think I'm going to have to say this movie is a saving grace for the Predator franchise. Yes, Colin. 85%. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. You're my Oscar predictions for Morbius for Best Picture, Marmaduke for Best Picture, Minions: The Rise of Gru, Steve Carell for Best Acting, Morbius 2, it's Morbin time for greatest films of all time. I love it. I think that's great. It's a great list. Minions reign supreme. We all know this. Get your suits on. Rise of Gru, Despicable Me song. You know how it goes. Here we go. Austin, did you ever watch? Okay, we already talked about that one. What's your 5 shows of all time? Ooh, 5 is tough. Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, The Boys, Office, and Loki. Hey, listen, that's a good list. And I would steal some of those from my list. I would have to think about mine. I would absolutely have to think about mine. But definitely Breaking Bad. I'm going to go ahead and throw Succession on that list. You could talk about The Boys. That'll probably be in the conversation at the end of the day. The Office, duh. Parks and Rec, duh. Some of those it's a lot of modern TV shows too, which is the crazy thing. But yeah, I'd have to think about my list. It's drastically changed since I've started watching a lot of television. Raj says, and he keeps saying, Raj, let's try not to say the same thing over and over. You look like Lloyd from The Gray Man. Let's try not to say the same thing. All right, Carter. My Summer as a Goth, my first feature film, and I was a supporting cast in. Small $2 million indie film here in Portland. If you somehow do a review, tear my performance apart. All right, let's see if we're on Letterboxd, my friend, and I'll put that on my watch list. Let's go ahead and throw that on my watch list. Let's see, and if I watch it, hey, if you follow me, Carter, if you follow me on Letterboxd, Let's see. Oh, what? It's on Letterboxd. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. All right, sweet. Awesome, Carter. Awesome, my friend. Very cool. That is awesome, dude. I'm it's pretty cool. Listen, anytime you can play a part in a feature-length film, freaking cool. So yes, if I do it, it'll be on Letterboxd. It is on my watch list. Did I even put it on my watch list? I think I did. Yes, I did put it on my watch list. And yeah, I'm gonna try. There's a lot of movies, Carter. I'll be honest with you. I don't know when I would ever get to this. I'm gonna try to make an effort though. Thanks for the super chat. Thanks for the love. And that's freaking cool that you were able to be a part of a movie. I want to be in a movie one day. Come on, y'all. Hey, if you're watching it and you're a famous Hollywood producer, put me in a movie, but don't ruin the movie because I would ruin it. So maybe don't put me in the movie. I would probably ruin it. Absolutely love Sandman up there with Daredevil from Joshua. Joshua, thank you for the super chat. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Sandman's got a lot to love, man. A lot to love. It's one of those movies that, or one of those series that I think is going to find its niche, but it's also going to expand to more general audiences since it's based on that comic book, that graphic novel. So yeah, I think it's a show that's going to do very, very well. Hopefully we get a season 2. I think season 2 could far surpass season 1. I really do. 12 Angry Men is a masterpiece. Yes, it is. If there's ever a movie that I could sit, and Raj agrees, and call a masterpiece, it would be 12 Angry Men. Over all of them. Over Godfather. It would be 12 Angry Men. I think it's almost the perfect film. So yeah, you heard it here first. Austin thinks 12 Angry Men is a better movie than Godfather. I do. The filmed version of Heathers the Musical is coming to the Roku channel on September 16th. Mark your calendar. I have to spread the word. Oh, and it's you, Fashionable. I was going to say Fashionable. Was it you that was telling me that over on Patreon? I think it was you. So you were the one telling me that on Patreon. Because I was about to say, Fashionable, I didn't even look who sent me the super chat first. I was going to say, well, Fashionable Changeling told me about Heathers the Musical, but it was you. So thank you for the super chat. The Roku channel on September. It's on my watch list, but the Roku channel, I have the Roku channel, so I will definitely be on the lookout, Fashionable. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. In one of my college film classes, my one professor wouldn't stop talking about Man with a Camera. Oh, okay. I know which one, Crashing Coyote. I know which. Right. Let's see. Is that? Let me see if that's the one I'm thinking of. Let me see. Is that the Yes. Okay. Yeah, that was Bronson. Yeah, that was Charles Bronson. Now this is. It's not a standard movie though. This is like a documentary. I think there were numerous episode. It's odd. It's not a full-on movie. So it's different than what maybe you're expecting. It's not a narrative film. But this was Bronson. Yeah, man. And that was, when was this? 40s? Do you guys was it 30? It was a long time ago, let me tell you. It was a long time ago. So yeah, that's a pull. That's a real pull. Not a lot of people would even know about that. Interesting. 12 Angry Men, real masterpiece, top 1 movie. I want a 12 Angry Men movie with Batman and his villains. Oh my God, that's great. That's great. Just don't call it a 12 Angry Men remake. They made a The Boys movie. Who would play Homelander? Oh, well, I couldn't imagine anybody other than Anthony Starr. I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't tell you. Do you think the Star Wars and the MCU are in good places right now, even though some say they are dying? I'm excited for the future of both. I think Star Wars is maybe riding the struggle bus a little bit more than the MCU, but I'm excited for the future. We'll see what happens. Any advice on making friends with other content creators when I start my YouTube channel later this year, Jump Boy? Well, just be active. Just be sure to comment and give other content creators kudos when they deserve kudos. Like, great video, love your content. Just try that. And that's how relationships form. That's how my relationships formed, is giving other creators that deserved it, the kudos that they deserved, and you spark those relationships, and you follow each other on social media and all those things. So yeah, Jump Boy, very cool that you're starting a channel. That's great. That's awesome. But just always spread that love, man, and the love that you give will hopefully be received. And I think that's one thing. And I've made some amazing friends on YouTube. Absolutely amazing friends. Some people that I respect and hold close to me, and hopefully will for the rest of my life. Looking forward to She-Hulk. Some spotty CGI moments, but I do think it looks better, and it looks like it's capturing the comedic tone of the comics. It probably depends on if the humor lands for you. Yeah, I hope they capture that comedic tone, G. Colby P., because that's what the comics are. You know, people who are saying online, they're like, look how they're massacring She-Hulk, and all. It's the right tone. It's the right tone. It's just, is it going to look great, and is the story going to be there? I don't know, but let's see. Arad Plays says, Austin, what's the worst movie you've watched? If you can't name one, name some that come to mind. Nicole Brown, yeah, The Murder of Nicole Brown Simpson, the only movie I've ever given. Now, it's probably not the only movie I would give a 0% to, but in terms of watching it and logging it on Letterboxd, I gave it a 0%. There's nothing redeeming about that movie. It's absolute garbage. It's genuinely the worst movie I've ever seen, but there are probably some that are tied with it. So I could think back to, oh boy, what's a movie? I mean, The Last Airbender sucks. Oh, this is fun. Let's think about bad movies. Batman and Robin sucks. What else sucks? The Planet of the Apes movie, Makwaba. Hey, everybody. That movie sucks. There's a lot of really bad movies. What's the John Travolta? I can't even remember. Battlefield Earth or whatever. Oh boy. That's got to be one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I mean, genuinely. But hey, Marmaduke, you've entered that conversation because you're garbage. Absolute garbage. Hey, respect the filmmakers, respect the actors, everybody involved. Maybe they tried to make a competent film, but in terms of the content itself, it's garbage. If you could watch one genre for movies, what would you watch for the rest of your life? What genre would you pick? I go back and forth. I love comic book movies. I love comedies if they're good, but comedies have to be good. I'm going to go thriller. You can get a lot from a good thriller, man. And a lot of Villeneuve's movies would fall into that thriller category. You could technically throw some of the sci-fi-ish films into the thriller category. You can throw some of the dramas into the thriller category. I love a good thriller. I think of movies like Seven. I think of movies like Prisoners. I could go all day. I mentioned Gone Baby Gone earlier. The Town. Some great keep you on the edge of your seat type thrillers. And you could go, dramatic thriller. Like I said, sci-fi thriller, fantasy thriller. So you could throw in a lot of different things. So I'm going to go thriller. That was probably the one that stood out to me in terms of genres. 1920. Oh wow, 29. Talking about Man with a Camera. That's wow. Okay, that was way earlier than I expected. But yeah, it felt like a 30s, 40s type. But 29 is insane. Did you watch TMNT 2022? No, I haven't. I haven't seen that yet. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Okay. You into reading any comic books? I love comics. I love, in general, comics. My favorite comic of all time is Fantastic Four. It's my number one. It's interesting because not a lot of people, I think a lot of people would say Fantastic Four, but in terms of modern stories, they're not as good as they used to be. But your classic Fantastic Four comics, I would have to go Fantastic Four. That's my favorite comic run of all time. But my favorite experience of all time, not just like stories, is The Dark Knight Returns. I feel like The Dark Knight Returns is an amazing, maybe the best Batman's ever been. It's phenomenal. Guys, you know what I just realized? We've went an hour and 15 minutes. And I told my wife that I would go a little less than an hour. So I'm a horrible husband. I'm so sorry. Listen, we're going to have to wrap this up. We're going to have to wrap it up. And I am so sorry because there's so many great questions. I mean, what movie is you're excited next year being most anticipated? I mean, I could sit and think about that and come up with so many films. I mean, we mentioned Oppenheimer. We mentioned Killers of the Flower Moon, which got delayed. Spider-Verse. I mean, there's so much to talk about with that question, but it's a great question nonetheless. Would you be on board with Brad Bird directing Fantastic Four? Yes, I absolutely would. So many amazing questions. Do you think Rocket will die in Guardians of the Galaxy 3? I actually do. I've got some death predictions for Guardians 3, which we'll talk about when we get to next year. But guys, listen, I've got to wrap it up here. I've got to wrap it up. It's one of those things that I could keep going What's Captain America always say? I could do this all day. Look, I appreciate your questions, your comments, all of the thoughts on life, man. Hopefully I didn't miss any super chats today. We've got 94 likes. We're rocking almost 100. Let's get this puppy to 100 likes before we wrap it up. And I appreciate all of the comments and the likes on every video I do. I got a really fun video coming out later today, guys. Stay tuned to this channel. It's a short. You won't get a notification for it, so just stay tuned. But if you have the notification bell turned on, you might want to have that turned on. If you don't, because tomorrow if I can get it out, if not Tuesday, but maybe tomorrow, we're going to be talking Oscars. And I'm so excited. I haven't talked Oscars in a couple of months, so that's going to be really fun. You guys were great today. All the questions. Damon said, shame we didn't get any spam links. Yeah, we love the spam here. No, we don't. We hate spam, but hey, it's a shame. Killers of the Flower Moon is now 2023. Yeah, it got delayed. Unfortunately, got delayed. Man, you guys are great, asking so many questions, but I've got to wrap it up. Got to go hang out with the wife. Appreciate you all so much. I'm losing my voice. It's okay. It was worth every single second. If you guys ever have a question for me that's not during the live chat, right? Not during one of these live streams, you can actually ask me questions that I will respond to, whether it be at that moment or later on via the thanks button on the YouTube channel. That's right. It is a thanks, but Ryan, so we got 100 likes. Let's go, baby. Let's go. But there is a thanks button over on YouTube. And that's a way to ask me a question anytime y'all have a question for me. And I will always see that. I will always respond. And it's just a way for you guys to support the channel if you ever want to, but do not ever feel obligated to do that. I just love you guys being here regardless. So thank you all so much for being here. It's been an amazing time. Thank you all for 100 likes and all the questions. I'll play you out for the next 30 seconds. Say your goodbyes and any message you have for all the people still watching. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Hi. It's okay. Should have been better. Deserves more than 30 million. It's making me such a Lloyd. Good night to me. Oh, Damon, if I had some boxes around, I'd beat them. I really would. All I have here are Funko Pop boxes. But, oh no. It's raining outside. Well, it was going to be a good day. But it still will be. Fly, you fools. Ow.